Hi and welcome. Today I really want us to focus this Vinyasa flow on the concept of expansion and contraction. I had this thought the other day that I was talking about breath, and of course breath is inhale, expand, exhale, contract. And I started thinking about, God, it's not just the breath, it's everything. In our bodies, in nature, in the whole freaking universe. The whole universe is one big, we're in the expansion, but at some point it's going to contract. So there's this constant movement of breath, heart, lungs, movement, everything. And I really want you to focus on that today. So we're going to talk a lot about this expanding, even in poses that are kind of stagnant. We're still going to have this very subtle expansion contraction that of course moves in conjunction with our breath. So we're going to start on our backs, come lying down. You're just going to start in a Shavasana. Close your eyes. And bring your focus to your breath. So that long inhale, long exhale. And maybe you're putting a hand on your belly just to feel the movement. So this is a pose that's on the surface completely still, and yet it's not. There's a constant pulse of life. And then hug your knees to your chest. Move a little from side to side. And release with your arms and take your arms out to the side, and then slowly, slowly, and you're going to control this movement. Lower both your legs over to one side, come into a twist. And with your inhale, you expand into that right side, or the lengthening side, because I didn't actually say what side you lower your legs to. And then come back to center. And slowly come over to the other side. And come back to center. Hug your knees. Roll back and forth. Come up to seated. Yeah, sit up nice and tall. And start circling your torso. And you guys know, make it big, make it weird. So slow the movement down. Just so you can make it bigger, make it more conscious. Moving your spine in all kinds of weird and wonky directions. And change directions. And come to center. Make your way onto all four. And you're going to continue the theme of circling. Keep your arms straight and just circle over your hands. Change direction. Go the other way. And come to center. Start moving into your cat-cow. Slow movement. Expand. Contract. And find your neutral spine. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Keep your knees bent and slowly roll forward. Lower your hips, open up your chest, expand. Exhale. Roll all the way back. One more time. Roll forward. And back. And find that first down dog. And inhale, lift your right leg up. Step forward. Lower your back knee. Come into a low lunge. And sink into the lunge. Get some length in your body. And get a little movement in here. So you go a little deeper. Maybe you come back. So no pose is completely stagnant. Hands down to the mat. Straighten your front leg. Lengthen your spine. Flex that right foot. Inhale, lift your right arm up. Revolve. And then lift your right foot off the ground. Take it back. Come into this modified side plank. Exhale, knee and elbow comes together. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. 2 more. Come to plank pose. Vinyasa. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Step forward, come into your low lunge. Reach your arms up. And again, sink into it. At the same time as you're sinking in, reach your fingertips to the sky. Maybe even a little bit behind you. And come into your half split. And notice what happens when you expand in this pose. So as we expand the belly. We also lengthen the spine. When we lengthen the spine, you might feel that stretch intensifies a little. Lift your left arm up, revolve. And lift the leg up. Come into that little modified side plank. Find a stable place. Exhale, knee and elbow comes together. Inhale, open. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Come back to plank pose. Move through your vinyasa. Look forward. Step to the front of your mat. And come into a ragdoll forward fold. So put a little bit of bend in your knees, maybe separate your feet a little bit and just hang. Let your belly melt against your thighs. Make sure you're nice and loose in your neck and your shoulders. Feel your belly expanding against your thighs. Sometimes it helps when we can actually physically, by touch, feel the expansion like now. It gives us a great understanding of where our body is. Slowly roll up to standing. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step back to plank pose. Move through your vinyasa. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Step forward, come into a lunge. Reaching through your back heel, and then step forward, come into a tree pose. No cheating. So you're just going to lift that foot up as high as you can. Making sure your hips are nice and level. Lift your left knee out in front. Step back to a lunge. Lower the back knee. Come into a one-legged camel. Press your hips forward. Maybe that left hand is at your lower back. Maybe it's at the heel. Windmill down. Left hand comes to the mat. Reach your right arm up. Lift the back knee. Revolved lunge. And there's a swirl in your body here. So that twist doesn't start in your belly. It starts in your back leg. Warrior 2. Activate through both of your feet. You're still breathing. You have a natural curve in the spine. You might have heard before, tuck your tailbone in a warrior. Don't tuck your tailbone. You want a natural curve in the spine, and you want movement in your belly. And that also means that when you exhale, take that as an opportunity to check in with your center. So make sure you're not just collapsing in your lower back. So we want this nice neutrality. And that involves inhale, expand. Exhale, gently contract. And the wonderful thing, I think, we often think, oh, if we're not engaging the core, then we're not supporting anything. We're not supporting the lower back. That's not true, because if we inhale properly and expand the belly, it's actually like the air or the air that comes into your lungs is going to press everything down. And it's the sheer volume is actually going to protect everything. So it's a little bit like imagining if you have a balloon, you're thinking, how long are you going to stay in this warrior? 2 minutes. No. If you have a balloon, when it's soft, there's no air in it, it's all soft and there's nothing. But then you push the air in and there's a pressure in there. And that means that, oh, it's actually quite hard. And that's the same thing that happens in this lower torso. Inhale, reverse. Finally, straighten the leg. Make sure you engage the front of your thigh and then come into a trikonasana. Like, God, how long is he going to go on about this? Talk. Look down. Bend your front knee and lower both of your hands to the inside of your right foot. Come into a lizard pose. And you're just going to move, explore, say hi to your hip. Now we have to do the warrior 2 on the other side. We're going to have to stay as long. So now I'm going to have to come up with something super interesting to say. Going to have to go off on another tangent. Step back to plank pose. Vinyasa. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Step forward, come into your lunge. Tree pose. Lift the knee out in front. Step back to your lunge. Lower the back knee. One-legged camel. Windmill your right hand down to the mat. Lift the back knee up. Revolved lunge. Warrior two. So what are we going to talk about? I had a very interesting conversation with a friend this morning about, which I think we all know, but it's just so mind-blowing. It's the fact that we are all, every molecule in your body, every molecule, every particle around you is as old as the universe itself. How wild is that? So everything you're made of is as old as the universe itself, yet it's managed to configure into the uniqueness that is you, your brain, your body, your soul. It's one of those things. We kind of know it, but it's mind-blowing to remind yourself of. Is this long enough? Inhale, reverse. Straighten your front leg. Trikonasana. Got a free philosophy lesson. Was that a philosophy lesson? I don't know. Maybe not. Science lesson? I guess it could be considered science. Keep pressing your big toes into the mat. Look down, bend that front knee, come into lizard. Again, you get to explore. And step back to plank pose. Vinyasa. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Step forward, come into your lunge. Tree pose. And then lift your leg and with your peace fingers, grab your big toe. Come into Parakustasana. Your leg doesn't have to be straight. Pull that left shoulder or that left arm back into your shoulder socket. Stand up tall. Gently release. Warrior three. Back to your lunge. Lower the back knee, one-legged camel. Exhale. Left hand to the mat, revolved lunge. Warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Straighten the front leg. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle. Look down. Walk your hands to the left, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Bend your left knee. Skandasana. And again, notice the little movements here. As you inhale, maybe you get a little taller. As you exhale, maybe you sink in a little lower into that hip. So again, it's this beautiful kind of melody between expansion, contraction, lengthening, releasing. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Come into a warrior one. Pressing into that back foot. Interlace your hands behind you. Reach your hands down. Lift your chest. Exhale. Humble warrior. Exhale, roll back up. And step forward, come into a dancer pose. Grab that left foot and actively press the foot into your hands, expanding your whole front body. Gently release and come to standing. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Step back to plank pose, Vinyasa. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Step forward, come into your lunge. Tree pose. And even though we're balancing, we're just going to let the breath flow. Again, once we accept this expansion, contraction, our balance actually becomes better. Even though you think the movement is going to mess it up, grab that big toe. Padangusthasana. Let go of the foot. Warrior 3. Step back. Lower the back knee, one-legged camel. Windmill down, revolved lunge. Warrior 2. Reverse. Straighten the leg. Triangle. Look down, walk your hands to the right, come into wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Bend that back knee, the right one. Come into Skandasana. This is a good time to check in with your belly. You can feel your belly up against your right thigh. Just checking in that you're still breathing properly. Lift up. Walk your hands to the front. Come into a warrior 1. Remember, your heels don't have to be on a line here. Make room for your hips. Make room for that back knee not to twist. Interlace your hands behind you. Exhale. Humble. Exhale, roll back up. Step forward, come into your dancer's pose. Gently release. Come to standing. Take your hands to your heart. Take a moment. Close your eyes. Lower your heart rate. Notice how much your body is actually moving, even though you're this still. Forward fold. Bend your knees. Lower your butt to the ground. Roll your back down. Keep your knees bent. Feet flat on the ground. Then activate through your feet, activate through the back of your shoulders. Inhale, lift up into your bridge pose, using your whole back body to lift. And slowly lower down. One more time. Lift up into your bridge pose. And lower down. One last time. Lift up. And lower down. Open your knees to the sides, let the bottom of your feet come together, recline Baddha Konasana. And then take your knees to your chest, curl into a little ball. Let your left knee or left leg come flat down. Keep hugging your right. And come into a reclined twist. Back to center. And over to the other side. Take the time to squeeze that left leg to your chest before coming into the twist. Notice that we are finishing this class exactly the way we started it, from a point of neutral, making the last half an hour one big expansion and contraction. Come back to center. Find your Shavasana. Let your whole body relax. Of course, we know that even though we're relaxed, we're not still. We're still moving. Our belly is moving. Our heart. The blood is being pumped around. That's moving. So even in complete stillness, that's all this work happening underneath, all this motion. And stay as long as you need. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.